Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Star Wars Weekly Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Book of Boba Fett Episode 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. Chapter 5 came at us with a swing, and boy, I was not prepared to have Chapter 6 pack such a big punch. I did not expect to see Cobb Vanth, in the beginning of the episode, at all.
Oh, no.
I was cool. Not expecting that.
That was really, really cool.
I wasn't really expecting him to come back.
No,
yeah. Honestly, it's like,
I thought he was done. But he has a really cool scene with the Pikes outside Mos Pelgo. And he's just like, think it through. Think it through.
Here's my one complaint with Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
He's wearing a shirt. And that's like all his character wears. It's just the costume.
It's like a little underdressed.
Yeah, as soon as he came in, I looked over and I was like...
yeah. A hat, some armor, something.
Yeah, exactly.
A poncho, maybe? That'd be cool.
Yeah, he had armor.
A poncho would look cool. I'd be down with that.
At least give him a badge on the shirt or something. They put it on his belt.
It's on his belt. Yeah, it's not even like a...
and he was like, I got this belt here that makes me the marshal.
All right, man.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, so he kind of just tosses their spice out and sends the Pike running. Tells them basically not to come back. There won't be any problems. So that's it for Cobb Vanth for now. And then we hop over to Din Djarin again. Mandalorian here to save Book of Boba. Din Djarin is flying his Naboo starfighter to a forest planet.
Just give me a whole episode of Din flying that ship and I'll watch it. Just want to see that flying around.
Honestly, yeah. Just give me like a screensaver.
Yeah, man. He goes to the planet to find Luke and Grogu, the planet that they're training on, and he runs into R2-D2. I don't know why I didn't expect to see R2-D2 with Luke, but I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like, of course he's with him.
Yeah, his best
They're
bud.
homies.
Love R2. It was great seeing him again. Din finds droids building Luke's Jedi temple.
Like ants. Robotic ants.
I was not expecting that. When I'm thinking like Luke building Jedi temple, I didn't expect there to be 100 ant droids going around. But hey, I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. It was cool.
Whatever works.
So Luke and Grogu are nowhere to be found. So R2 and Mando decide to take a nap while they wait for them to return. No idea why R2 just shuts himself off, but Din's just like, all right. He hops on the bench, just goes to sleep. So the scene cuts to Grogu. Yay, crowd goes wild.
Our baby.
It was beautiful.
Everyone was expecting it. I hope. I mean, I know some of my followers were not expecting it at all, and I'm like, they set it up the last episode. Take one film class, and you'll know exactly what's going to happen next. So, scene cuts to Grogu. He's training with Luke Skywalker. Luke freaking Skywalker looks so good. I'm so happy they hired that guy from YouTube because it just looked exactly like Mark Hamill.
It was flawless.
Absolutely flawless. I agree.
Flawless.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to re-release that episode that's in Mando.
I think maybe they will. If not now.
I mean, they already accidentally uploaded Mando Season 3, so...
Oh my god.
So I mean, Grogu's training with Luke Skywalker. How cool is that?
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's full circle. It's just like a full-on, Yoda trained Luke, Luke trains Grogu. It's very similar. The parallels in Star Wars, right?
The fact that he's training not just the next generation of Jedi, but just just the fact that it happens to be one of Yoda's own species, which is probably the last of his kind.
Yeah.
That has some major
I mean, yeah,
significance to
it means so much because like Yoda trained like almost every Jedi for the past 900 years. He dies. His last student trains another one of his kind. And hopefully Grogu will be training Jedi for the next 900 years as well.
Hopefully he makes the right choice.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we'll see. I can't believe we got that. I mean, it's so refreshing to see that finally, like Luke Skywalker as Jedi Master Luke. You know
what we all wanted
to
see. What we finally got to see in Mando Season 2, and now Book of Boba Season 1. Grogu force levitates a frog, as usual.
He's
adorable
so
scene.
cute.
Yes, he is. He's a cutie. And Luke just straight up one-ups him by levitating a bunch of frogs.
He's like, oh yeah, you want to see some real shit, bitch?
He doesn't even say anything. He's just like, check this out. Doesn't even let Grogu eat one. Like, dude must be hungry after this Jedi training, and Luke's like, get rid of your attachment to frogs. I mean, I love how Luke tells Grogu about Yoda while moving him with the Force, since he's so slow. Like, that scene was really interesting. Yeah, so just more about Yoda, and Luke just keeps mentioning how, you know, Yoda talked in riddles. He asks Grogu if he remembers his home, which is really emotional, like, moment for the fans, and, you know, I know I felt something, like, watching it, thinking back to, like, Empire and stuff. Luke mentions he forgets stuff, and Luke helps Grogu remember some of his trauma. And I was not expecting what we got.
But it's Dave Filoni,
Yes.
and he always finds a way
Clone
to sprinkle
Wars.
that in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
I really
trauma?
thought we were going to get a scene of him, like,
PTSD.
on his home planet or something like that, like, with his kind.
Yeah.
And they just straight up go to a scene from Revenge of the Sith, but, like, all new, with 501st Clone Troopers
it was beautiful.
storming
It
the
was so
Jedi
cool.
Temple.
That was amazing.
But it was so
Just
I wanna
shooting down
know-
Jedi. That was
I want to
sick.
know who rescued Grogu, like who brought him out of the temple.
There's been
Oh,
quite a
you
few
have an opinion.
theories. Eric, go for it.
I have a good one. I have a really good one. I was waiting to see a purple
too.
blade in that flashback. Okay, hear me out.
That was my
Hear
first
me
guess as well.
out. My theory is, okay, so apparently there's like this interview or like this comment by George saying that Mace did not die after the fall. Like, he got very messed up.
Yeah.
But like he didn't die. And so my theory is, if Grogu is in the Jedi Temple, who's part of the Jedi Order, and like the High Council had to have known about this. It wasn't just like some other Padawan, right? It wasn't just some other kid that they were training. It's like the only other species of Yoda's species who is the Grand Master of the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So let's play this out. If Mace survived the fall, and he would have already known, if he's like, once he survived and like once he landed, he would have known, okay, like that's it. The Jedi, like he would have felt everything that was going on. He would have known this is it for the Jedi. So if it were me, my first instinct would be, okay, I'm gonna go and try and save the best chance for the Jedi Order to survive. And who better to save than the only species that lives up to 900 years and is force sensitive, which would be Grogu.
In the, I believe George said that originally, when Mace Windu was thrown out the window, he survived, like you said, but Boba Fett was actually supposed to swoop down and kill Mace Windu. But Boba Fett was supposed to come down and just eliminate him right there
Finish
as
him
revenge
off.
for Jango. And so you have Mace, Grogu, and Boba Fett. All three are connected.
They're all
This
connected.
is Boba Fett's show.
That's interesting.
How cool would it be to see Boba Fett and Mace Windu square off? I was really happy to see the scene with Ahsoka and R2 as well. Like, they have so much history together.
Honestly.
Almost as much as Anakin and her.
Having Ahsoka there is not something
No.
I expected, but God, is it something we needed? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, like, just knowing that Ahsoka and Luke have talked,
Yeah.
like, imagine once we get to see when they first met, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, that first conversation of, like, wait, your name is Skywalker? You know?
Can we
Yeah.
just talk
Like,
about how, like, Ahsoka is in this episode, and, like, Ahsoka is in a live-action TV show episode,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she's not even, like, our main topic of, like, concern. Like, that...
No,
There's so
no.
much going on.
Yeah,
here,
that's, like, the
and she's,
least
like,
interesting
the
thing that
bottom of the
happens.
list
Oh.
right now in terms
Yeah.
of, like, what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like-
my friend
The episode
my
was just
friend made
too
a
good.
joke and said that this episode is like When We Were Young Fest. Have y'all heard about that?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like so many
Yeah.
familiar faces.
Yeah.
Right. It's a Clone
Yeah.
Wars, like,
It was-
nostalgia
it really
trip.
was.
And, like, Empire.
Yeah.
But with Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's made for, like, our
Yeah.
generation of Star Wars fans, I think. Clone Wars,
really
is,
yeah.
prequels, like, it's getting all that love that, you know, it deserves after all this time. You know, if an episode's directed by Dave or Bryce at this point, it's gonna be a banger. Bryce
Yeah.
got all the action
Yeah.
scenes, and Dave has all the Jedi type stuff.
I do have a counter argument to that.
Yeah.
Because didn't Dave direct that one episode in Mando season 1 with the one where a Fennec shows up for the first time?
Oh, the one with Toro?
The one with the
Oh.
shitty bounty
Or
hunter
is
kid.
that his name?
Let's forget about
Yeah.
that. That was
I'm
his
pretty
first-
sure
that
Dave
was his-
directed that one.
That was his first gig. We'll give him a pass, okay? Robert had
Yeah.
like 3 tries.
I think.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Robert started out hard,
No,
and then he just didn't make it to the playoffs.
If Dave was able to redeem that episode with what he just gave us today,
That's fine with me.
then as long as Robert can give us something like that with this,
I want to
finale.
talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get back to that subject.
Yeah,
Mando wants to see Grogu, but Ahsoka warns of attachment. It's the whole Jedi thing all over again.
yeah.
She lets Din decide what he wants to do, and then we get to see Din see Grogu from a distance, and like Din obviously misses the crap out of Grogu. It's really sad. My wife like bawled and
Yeah.
cried
Yeah.
about how
No.
Same.
they didn't get to reunite.
He's so close.
Same.
Um,
Yeah, that was a mess too.
So Ahsoka's just like, okay, make your decision. Din's like, all right. He just starts walking towards Grogu because he wants to give him the gift. And Ahsoka stops him again, and Din's just like, I came all this way. He's right there. It's like super sad.
Are you doing this for him
Yeah.
or you?
And you know, Ahsoka mentions Grogu misses him, and if he sees Din, it'll make it more difficult for him. So Din.
No, exactly.
Din sucks it up, and he passes the gift to Ahsoka and leaves, telling her to protect him. But that is good character development. That is good story building. That is great storytelling. The Mandalorian is just a 10 out of 10 like story, like from start to finish, with that Grogu arc going to Luke at the end of season 2. Like you really feel that connection. I thought that was going to be the end of, you know, that, and we were going to go see more Boba Fett stuff, but this is not the book of Boba Fett, is it? We get to see more of, like, Luke and Grogu training. Luke runs with Grogu in his backpack, just like
Oh, that was beautiful.
just like
So
Yoda did on Dagobah with Luke. It was just like full circle. Like I know I was saying about last episode that we would definitely see Luke and Grogu in this episode, but I think they're going to continue Grogu's story in Mando season 3. I think
Yeah.
with just one episode
No,
of
yeah.
Book of Boba left, they got to focus on the
Yeah.
story at hand.
They have to.
So I think we're going to be in for a bit of a wait for Grogu's decision. So yeah, Grogu's training with Luke's training remote. I don't know if it's the same one from A New Hope, but it looks exactly the same. He
Possible.
starts force jumping and flipping and whatnot across rocks,
Yeah.
and it's just like, wow, I didn't think you could do that because you could barely jump like 2 seconds ago.
And Luke says
Yeah.
he's just trying to help him remember. Like, Grogu knows all this stuff. He just has to remember.
So Ahsoka joins them, and Luke says Grogu is remembering more than he's teaching him. and she mentions that Mando.
Mando's brother.
Gosh. Ahsoka mentions Mando brought Grogu a gift. Luke's just like, all right, and grabs it. Then Luke says to Ahsoka, sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it. And Ahsoka says, so much like your father. That was cool. To address her relationship with Anakin. I would love to see Ahsoka just sit down with Luke and talk about like Anakin with him and tell him about his father more than like Obi-Wan ever did, you know.
Because especially because the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan is completely different than the relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin.
Yeah.
And she's technically like, if she was like Anakin's little sister, then she's like an aunt to Luke. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like that is, I want to see more of that. I hope we see that in Ahsoka.
Right.
Because that is really powerful to the story, honestly.
Yeah.
So Luke asks Ahsoka, you know, what he should do about Grogu. She's just like, trust your instincts or whatever. He's like,
kill him in his sleep.
Just trust your instincts, Luke. If you have any inkling of like wanting to kill your students, just do it. Trust yourself.
Fucking do it. Just kill that bitch.
So,
oh my God. No regrets.
We might get a takedown for that.
We might. Oh my God.
We're talking about a movie.
Yeah.
So he asks if he'll see her again, and she's like, yeah, possibly. So hopefully we see them again, and you know they shoot the shit or something.
They need to like have a beer, you know.
Yeah.
Relax.
Have some spotchka.
Talk about the good old days.
Yeah, have some of that titty milk from last time.
Never say that again.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Walrus titties.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
I'm so traumatized.
Anyway,
back to you know, Mandalorian Boba Fett type stuff. Din returns to Tatooine. He hits up Boba and Fennec. Boba gets his minute of screen time for his show. You know, they gotta after last episode where he wasn't in it at all, they gotta give him at least a minute of screen time, right?
Yeah.
Does he even say anything? I think Fennec's the one talking the entire time.
He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, so Boba has his helmet off again, and he doesn't say a freaking word in his own show. Might as well call it the Book of Fennec Shand or the Book of Mando.
Can I just
something
say one
else.
thing? Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
We only needed 6.5 minutes for Boba Fett to be legendary for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the finale will be enough for him to redeem himself.
I sure fucking hope
Okay.
so.
We're diving into this because okay, like
Here we go.
we had 6 minutes of him in the original trilogy, right?
Yeah.
He's this mysterious character. Everyone wants to know who he is. He looks like a total badass. And then we see him in his diaper in his own show, like getting tossed around by a Wookiee, and he's not even in 2 episodes of his entire show. And like, what?
I totally agree with you.
But he's not the same person he was. It's a different time in his life now.
Yeah, it's a different...
He's not a bounty hunter anymore.
Imagine this. We get Kenobi, right, in May, and it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Let's just say there's 5 episodes. I don't know how many episodes there are. And 2 of the episodes are Kit Fisto. Like, and Obi-Wan's nowhere to be found. You know, okay, not Kit Fisto because he's dead. I don't know, some random Jedi.
Cal Kestis. Let's say Cal.
Okay, Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
that would
great.
be badass.
Cal
though.
Kestis. Like, he's dope. But this is an Obi-Wan show.
Okay,
look.
I see what you're saying, because,
we agree.
yes, it should be completely him the whole series. But I think with all of the shows that they're doing, they're all going to tie into each other.
I agree.
Because we got Boba Fett and Mando, now we're getting Mando and Boba Fett.
And
we got Ahsoka. in Mando and
Luke,
Boba Fett, and now she's gonna
But
be in her own show.
Mando was in every single episode of Mando.
True.
Okay, but wait.
Okay.
Like, we have 7 episodes of Boba. Okay, we have 7 episodes of Boba Fett. All right.
Yes.
Like, episode 1, oh, he's gonna do something next week. Episode 2, he's gonna do something next week. Episode 3, he's gonna do something next week. Fast forward to episode 6, he's gonna do something in the finale, and it's gonna make up for everything. For 40 years of Star Wars,
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong about the finale.
I agree. I think he's gonna do something in episode 7, and it's gonna be cool. Like, he's gonna either ride the Rancor on his back to tank or something. But
he's gonna whack Cad Bane off, into space with
the Rancor's gonna eat Cad Bane, and Boba's gonna be like, I did it, but really it was the Rancor. And I guess that's cool, but I mean, we shouldn't have to wait for episode 7 of a Boba Fett TV show to see Boba Fett do something cool.
I agree with you. At no point am I disagreeing.
I am still a Boba Fett stan. I'm still a Boba Fett stan. I love Boba Fett.
I know. The main complaint is that we just want to see Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
That I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But let's look at it this way. With Mando, he was in every episode because he's a brand new character. You know? Like, he's a brand new character in his brand new show. And
brand new era.
Like, brand new era.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're not going to have this brand new character not be in his show. Like, the good thing is that we already know who Boba Fett is, you know? We just have never really had, like, a deep dive as to who he is as a person. And that is, you know, what this show has been giving us 4 episodes worth of it. But, you know, which is also, like, you know, a lot of people didn't, they were like, okay, why isn't he blowing shit up, right? But at the same time, it's like, he did it here and there, but, like, I do want to learn more about who he is, who Boba Fett is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We're not talking about you or me here. Like, we read the comics, we've watched the Clone Wars. Looking at the average Star Wars fan, the coolest thing that Boba Fett ever did in the entire live-action movies was on Tython in Mandalorian.
Yeah, I agree.
After seeing that in Mandalorian, all of us were looking forward to seeing Boba do something insane in his own show that we've been waiting all these years for. And he fucking sits on his throne and has Fennec run the whole show for him.
And runs around in his diaper. Don't forget about that.
Yes. No, I agree. But again, it's a different era of his life, and
I know.
He's the boss now. He can't be like
he's
what we were
also
saying.
getting older. Like, you can't really do that stuff forever.
But
isn't Cad Bane like 80 years old right now?
Yeah, he's pretty old.
He's like 70.
Speaking of Cad Bane, Cad Bane's in the show, okay? Yay!
Yes.
We all expected it. And he's still cooler than Boba Fett in Boba Fett's show.
Yeah.
No,
Boba Fett's gonna kill Cad Bane in the finale. Mark my words.
Okay. Erica, I will be so happy for you if Boba Fett does something in episode 7. You know what?
You guys have like a blood feud at this point, and I don't even know why.
Even if Boba Fett sits on his ass throughout the entire chapter 7, I will still love Boba Fett because he's awesome.
No, yeah.
But I just have to say it, and all the fans, like, just sticking up for him, like, there's got to be a point where he just disappoints us like Luke Skywalker did, right?
Well, then after the finale, if nothing happens, that will be the point. That's what I mean. I've just been waiting for the whole thing.
And even if nothing happens, we will still love him because he's Boba Fett and he's just cool. But
also, let's remember that we're used to getting like movies.
The whole show
we're used to getting like a 2.5 hour movie, and I feel like the Book of Boba Fett should have been a movie, but they were really pushing Disney Plus. They're really pushing these weekly releases to really spread out this content and keep people like engaged in Star Wars. So it's like, I think it's more so like
It would have also been different
medium
if we got the
thing.
whole show at once. Like
yeah,
we wouldn't
like released in one
be
day.
like no one would have been
Yeah.
no one would have had a problem with like any part of this. You
Wouldn't
know?
be like hyper fixating on
Exactly.
certain things. Yeah.
The main
because-
part is like we have to wait a week per episode when we're like, but we just want this.
like we
you
want
know?
the
It's
answer
like-
now. Yeah.
But you know, and I think that plays a big part in it too.
Yeah.
That's how Disney wraps us around their finger.
Yep. And we fall for it.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time.
He'll do something cool next year.
I don't want to say that.
Okay, honestly
I
though,
don't want to have to say
honestly though, even if it's just like
that. Setting something
even
up.
if it's just 5, 6, and 7 that are phenomenal, that's fine with me. I'm still happy with the show.
Yeah.
It was still worth it.
It was still worth it, and I still think it's an incredible show, even though.
No, yeah.
So Fennec mentions that they lack the numbers for an all-out war. Din's like, hey, I might be able to help. I know a guy. And so Din just takes off again. We don't see Boba Fett ever again in this episode. And we see him in this really cool shot where the Naboo starfighter flies by a Jawa's sandcrawler with the crate dragon
really
skull in the
I
front.
love
Like that thing looked awesome. Like I don't
How did those little fuckers get that up there?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Like,
look, I don't know if they're just putting it up there for transport or if they're using it as like a decor piece.
I
like
think it's a decor
No,
piece.
I think it's too intimidating.
I think it's like
okay, because that
Don't mess with
if it's a
us.
decor
You know what they
piece,
said?
That's badass.
you know what they said? Think it over.
yeah.
Think it over.
Right? Yeah.
Is that what comments?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of thinking it over, Din lands his starfighter in Mos Pelgo to recruit Cobb Vanth for this cause, which I don't know what Cobb Vanth has to do with it. And he kind of says the same thing. He's just like, "This ain't my fight. Like, I'm a cop. You're working for." Like Boba Fett, who's kind of like a crime lord now.
Yeah. Well, like what Din was making, the point he was making was like, if it's
Yeah.
not your problem now, it will be.
Yeah, because
you know?
the Pikes will take over the planet and it'll affect Cobb and
Yeah.
his tiny little Freedomville. So Cobb's just like, I'll see what I can do. So Mando leaves, and of course, right after Mando leaves, Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Cad Bane.
Yeah. No, that was. Oh my god.
Art-
That was the
what-
most
the hats?
gangster
Look,
entrance.
like, did we not just immediately know as soon as we saw the silhouette?
I knew
Yeah.
immediately, and I got up out of my chair and was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Be right back.
And
Wait, what did he say?
I think he said he's going to the bathroom, but I'm not sure.
do you hate Cad Bane that much, Taylor?
My cat just like shit on my desk.
What? What? Please leave this in.
No way.
Please leave this in.
That's what your cat thought of the episode.
She said, "Oh, Cat Bane."
Cad Bane.
All right. Now where were we?
Cad Bane. Ever since I was a kid, you know the announcer like in Clone Wars where he's like Cad Bane. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
Here it
narrator
is.
at the beginning.
goes off
Tyranny
my head.
strikes again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So Cad Bane's just makes this amazing entrance where it's just like Tatooine sand, and he's just there walking straight towards Cobb Vanth, and Cobb's just like, what the hell is going on in Freetown?
Get inside.
Oh my god.
Get inside.
Yeah,
So, Cad's working for the Pikes. You know, he has a standoff with Cobb. And wait, can we talk about how cool Cad Bane looks in live action?
insanely
Dude,
cool.
he looks
like
scary.
ridiculously cool.
Same voice actor as
Yeah.
Clone Wars. I wonder who's playing the physical actor. But, dude, the teeth, the color,
Yeah.
the eyes,
Everything.
when he lifted the brow of his
Everything.
hat and he showed his eyes, it was just menacing, and the voice was just spot on,
it was amazing.
absolutely
It was-
terrifying. Like, they knocked it out of the
So
park
cool.
with Cad Bane.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about the deputy of that town? Like, as soon as he said that
Oh my
first
God.
line of dialogue, I was like, I want you to fucking die right now.
Yeah, and he
And
dies.
sure enough, he did. So
And he gets like
Yeah,
10. He gets the whole
Yeah.
clip put in him.
3,
Yeah.
like
Crisis
5
averted.
bolts.
Cad's like setting up the next episode. He's just like, I'm working for the Pikes. You know, Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire. He says Cobb shouldn't have given up his armor, and then Cad just shoots them both. She shoots Cobb.
Yeah.
Without even trying.
No, yeah, they don't even get a shot off.
No, I thought he was gonna get. I knew he was. I had a feeling he was gonna get both of them, but I thought he was gonna like
Yeah.
two-handed.
Yeah.
You know, no, he's just like boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And
One-
I believe Cobb Vanth
of them.
is still alive because when they came out to grab him, they were
Like,
like
it hit his shoulder.
they
Yeah.
mentioned grabbing stims like from the video games and stuff to like bring him back
Yeah.
to life. That'll probably
Messed him
bring
up.
Cobb into the fight along with Freetown.
probably along with Freetown. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm sure.
But Cad Bane just says, like, as he leaves, he's just like, Tatooine's gonna belong to the Syndicate. As long as the spice keeps running, everyone will be left alone. We know that's not gonna happen. So Boba's gonna go fight the Pikes. I guess Cad Bane's the big villain. I hope there's more bounty hunters with Cad. To be honest,
Honestly,
like,
I think we could see
Bosk,
someone
like,
really
imagine-
cool.
dude. Oh my
I
God!
was hoping to
Imagine
see-
Bosk against Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that
You-
would be
you know
one
who's someone
hell of a
that-
season finale.
no, yeah. I really want to see. I want to see Boss, like even for a second. Like I just want to see.
I love Boss, but I want Chrysanthemum to just rip him to shreds.
No, yeah. Well, his limbs grow back, so
Yeah, you're
you know.
right.
Then we see two Pikes enter Garza's cantina with an ice cream container, the same container that carries the Beskar too.
Yeah.
And Garza and the rest of the Twi'leks and other cantina members just kind of like watching them, ask if they need to clean their helmets, just like they asked Boba and Fennec. And then they leave their ice cream container and head out, and Garza is just like watching them leave. And I don't know why they didn't put two and two together faster. But the ice cream container was a
Forgot your
bomb,
Cantono.
and Garza and
Yeah.
everyone else just blows up.
Been dead as fuck.
Rest assured, Max Rebo was not in the cantina. Max
Yes,
lives
all
yet
that
again.
matters.
He survived
He
two
does.
bombings. He's
Bro, Max is harder to kill than the Emperor. Like,
Oh my
Max
God.
is the goat. That's all. That's all we see on Tatooine.
yeah, they started the war.
Then we go back to Luke and Grogu again and close out the episode. So Luke and Grogu are in the hut that I guess Luke tries to kill Ben in. I don't know. Maybe it's the same hut. Maybe it's not. But Luke gives Grogu an ultimatum to accept the Beskar chainmail, which we were right about, by the way, from Mando, and return to Din Djarin, giving in to attachment and love and forsaking the Jedi, or
Kind of
accepting.
dramatic.
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
his red pill, blue pill moment, okay?
Yeah.
Or accepting Master Yoda's lightsaber and becoming a Jedi, and possibly never seeing the Mandalorian again because he ages really slowly and he's going to outlive everyone he loves and cares about. And Grogu just kind of goes, ah, and just stares off into the camera, and the episode ends.
And
There's a flaw in the design of his chainmail because, like, that spear was big as fuck. And you're telling me you got a tiny piece of cloth, basically, out of that big-ass spear?
I think it was
I
just
think
the
they just,
head of the
yeah,
spear.
They just used the tip, I think.
Oh,
And
really?
She kept like the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah, she just used like the tip.
Yeah.
Just the
It was
tip.
a tiny little button. Yeah.
Um,
No, but what do you guys think? Do you think Grogu's going? You know, what decision do you think he'll make?
I think that Grogu is going to choose Mando.
Agreed.
Same.
They
I
kind
don't
of
want him to, but I think he will.
they kind of gave it away with the ship design, I think. Because, like, who else could
Yeah.
fit in that ship besides Grogu?
We'll see. I hope we get to see more of it. I mean, I don't think we're gonna see it in the show again, but
Mando season 3.
Mando season 3, we have a whole other season to
Explore
look forward
that.
to and explore that.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll even see something in Ahsoka.
I'm sure we'll get more than a minute of screen time of Boba Fett in episode 7.
We better.
Oh my god.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Star Wars Weekly Podcast. We'll catch you next week for the season finale of Book of Boba Fett. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications, and check out Punch It Chewie Press for their pins, and check out our socials in the description below. Thanks.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that latest episode of our podcast. I just wanted to come on here because we are sponsoring today's episode with our brand Punch It Chewie Press. So we make Star Wars inspired fan art, and we have a lot of stuff inspired by the Book of Boba Fett. Here are a few of our more relevant designs, and you can use the code Star Wars Weekly for 10% off your purchase. The link is in our bio. Thanks!